The case data form is a place where you can have a single repository to review the details from related linked incidents, as well as add new details, whether this is specific to the case as a whole or just one of those linked incidents. As with the other data forms, the overall visibility of this data form and the ability for you to add, edit, or possibly delete case records are all privileges that must be enabled by your prospective administrator, as will be the case with any required fields and the visibility with some of these data entry fields. For the purpose of this training, we'll be looking at an existing case record so we can see the full potential of the case data form. Looking at the General tab, we can see that we have the case number. Just like the activity and incident number, this is again a system-generated number, which will be visible after you save a case record for the first time. Typically, the case name field will be used as an alternate value for your own internal numbering or naming convention for these records. As well, the case category field can be used to categorize this case, typically as an internal or external case. Next, we can identify the case start date, last review date whenever reviews are completed, and once closed, the actual close date. Where applicable, you can also indicate the appropriate case manager and/or supervisor. If an investigator or investigators need to be assigned to this case, click the Add New link in the Investigator section. Like adding an investigator to an incident, you must identify the investigator type, who the investigator is, when they were assigned the investigation, and any comments we want them to see. On the far right side of the screen are a series of summaries. The case summary allows you to view the general details of the case, including its current status, its duration, the number of incidents that are linked to this case, and when the initial incident occurred. The summaries below, the investigation, involvement, and loss summaries, will be compilations from all of the incidents that are linked to this case. New incidents or other cases can be linked to this case right from the General tab by clicking the appropriate Link New Incident or Link New Case as needed. The same data entry can be done from the Links tab as well. The only advantage from the Links tab is that you will also be able to see which records have already been linked. With the exception of a few subtle differences, from a data entry point of view, the case data form is almost identical to an incident. The first difference that we're going to see is on the Involvements tab. Here, you'll be able to see all of the persons, organizations, vehicles, and items that have been involved in all of the incidents that are already linked to this case. From here, you can select any of these involvements and click on the History link to see a history of the selected entity's involvements in other incidents. Or you can click the Go To link to go to that entity's data form to see more detail, including a more complete history of possible activity involvements as well as the incident involvements. And when it comes to persons, organizations, and vehicles, from here you could also review their links with other persons, organizations, or vehicles. Finally, you could click the Go to Incident link. This will take you to the incident that that entity was involved in, allowing you to review the complete incident details as well. What you cannot do from here is add new involvements. Any new involvements must be added on the appropriate incident where they had been involved. For both the narratives and attachments, again, you can review the already added values from the linked incidents, all from this single form. But in this case, you can also add new from here. The question then becomes, is the narrative or attachment that you're adding specific to the case record or one of the already linked incidents? As you can see here, there are two options for adding new: Add to Cases or Add to Incidents. Clicking Add to Cases will immediately open the Narrative Editor or Attachment Manager window so you can add your new narrative or attachment. Clicking the Add to Incidents will open up a window allowing you to select which of the linked incidents you are adding to. Once selected, you will not be taken to that record, but again, the Narrative Editor or Attachment Manager will open, allowing you to add the new entry. Once added, that new narrative and or attachment would be available on both that incident record as well as this case record. Losses are much like the involvements in that you can review the already added loss details from all of the linked incidents, but the addition of new losses cannot be done from here. Again, you would have to add any new losses or recoveries on the appropriate incident where they occurred. The Investigations tab does allow for data entry in the same manner as the narratives and attachments we just looked at, but one of the few differences is on the Details tab. We can see here a summary of all of the existing incident investigations, including the incident number, the investigation start date, review, and close dates, as well as the investigation duration, and towards the bottom of the window will be the assigned investigators to those incident investigations listed above. When it comes to adding new investigation summaries, logs, interviews, and evidence or property, you can add new, but once again, is this going to be specific to the case investigation or to one of those linked incident investigations? As with all data forms, on the Controls tab we can set the security controls for who will be able to access this record, as well as set the current status and disposition of the case. On the Reviews tab, we can add the appropriate review details and comments from your review. And finally, when needed, we can add case-specific assignments for other users.